I'm Will Carr, and I'm here to fire you up. What is up, everyone? I'm Will Carr. This is the Will Carr Speaks podcast. I have Keegan Vandermeer, pro bare knuckle fighter.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, we're here at Genesis Fighting Academy. You're a pro fighter here for Genesis. And let's talk about bare knuckle because obviously just to be MMA and a fighter, it's pretty unique and cool in itself.
Yes, sir.
But there's a whole other level of bare knuckle fighting. And so just talk to me a little bit about like the mindset when you go in, because there's no gloves, man. There's no pushing.
Gloves. You can't mess with any of that.
You can knock someone out with gloves.
And it changes with one punch. Bare knuckle, man, getting my mindset into bare knuckle is really just kind of, I've had a few fist fights like outside of competition. So like, I don't know, just kind of putting myself there mentally, but at the same time, you got to be calm in a lot of it. You really have to like see through stuff. Yeah. There's going to be a whole bunch going on, especially like as far as movement, people trying to close the distance on you. They're trying to crack you with hard shots. If you're just smart, methodical, and you stick to like what you're training and you don't try to do anything new within the fight, you're probably going to end up like better off than most people. Some people, they immediately fall on their instincts, and maybe their instincts aren't as trained as well. So it just depends. But bare knuckle, you have to count on being hurt. You have to count on it's going to hurt to win, it's going to hurt to lose. Okay? And then definitely count on hearing like a crunch of some sort at some point. It might be like maybe your knuckle popped, maybe a finger broke, maybe your nose popped a little bit, maybe it was just a cartilage, maybe like a punch, like just like cup some air under your skin, but you've got to be ready for that.
Yeah.
You've definitely got to be ready and just expect it and learn to deal with it.
Yeah. So, like, how long have you been fighting in general?
In general, okay, so I've been fighting pro for the past 4 years, but I've been fighting for about, like, around 10 years. Around 10 years. I was an amateur for a while. I did a lot of Muay Thai and kickboxing.
Okay.
I did some boxing in my amateur career. And towards the end of it, I actually won a national title
cool.
in Muay Thai and kickboxing. And then I was going to go pro. I was going to go pro in kickboxing. I was going to go pro in something. And actually BKFC came through town and they called my gym. They called a lot of gyms. I was with another gym at the time. They called our gym and I took the fight. I wasn't going to at first because I was like, man, bare knuckle, you guys actually are crazy. That's like nuts. I didn't. And then a couple of people were telling me, they're like, that's kind of for people on like the end of their fighting careers and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to try it, because worst comes to worst, if I didn't like it, I wasn't going to do it again.
Yeah.
But it actually turned out really fun. I broke my hand in my first fight. I broke my ring finger, actually.
Okay.
And what happened with that is I like threw like a nice cross, but I threw the cross at the top of the guy's head instead of like at his face.
Okay.
And he was running at me. He kind of ducked his head to like help with that anyway. So, but I still got him pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your record in bare knuckle fighting?
My record in bare knuckle fighting is 2-2. Okay. I've had some pretty exciting fights. And except my first fight, I fought all ranked guys.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was all like anyone within the top 10.
Okay. Man.
Yeah. It was nuts. I've had 3 fights out here, or 3 fights out here. 1 fight in Salt Lake City. And hopefully I'll be signing a contract with a promotion soon. I was going to sign with BKFC, but I had 2 losses in a row. And I had a really devastating knockout loss about a year and a half ago. So just since then, I've just been getting back onto things.
What's that like recovering from being, because I imagine there's a couple things there that I would make assumptions about, and you can correct me where I'm wrong. But like, one, to get knocked out, it's a bit of a shot to your ego. But 2, huge. From a physical standpoint, like getting knocked out like that, I've had 4 concussions, not from getting punched in the,
right.
in the head.
But concussions, regardless, they're insane. I think like the physical part. Okay, so the physical part is very, 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 very taxing on someone, because after a knockout loss like that, I had to rest. I was restless as well. immediately after, I went to the hospital because I hit my head twice on the way down.
Okay.
And I got up fine, but I'd clearly been concussed. I broke my orbital, broke my nose. Physically, that was all really taxing. I thought that I could get up and walk even like a week after, and I was like going to like do a couple of things, move around outside a little bit, and it just doesn't really hit you until you try to do something for real, and you're like, oh wow, I'm actually tired. I'm actually really tired. And then you might notice like your blood flow might pick up and your injuries might start to ache because it's like blood's flowing and it's like not normally you're supposed to be resting.
Yeah.
So you find out a lot about yourself. Mentally and spiritually, it hurt. It hurt a lot. Emotionally, It hurt a lot because I felt like I was in a situation where I did have control and then I didn't. And I was like, well, the most I can control about this now is that like I can still get back up. Like I can still get back up and stand back up and, just like hold my composure, hold my cool, give the other guy his props, give him his respect. But after all that, I wanted to quit.
Yeah.
I was really emotional in the back. I kept it together on camera, but I fell apart in the back. Coach helped reset my nose. Coach Jake helped reset my nose, thankfully, because I was looking sideways for a little bit. I was just like full of tears and blood and just spit and vomit, and it hurt. It just hurt, man. After that, about a couple weeks out, still like not really looking at my social media much, taking a lot of naps, eating a bunch, staying in touch with everyone. Everyone's checking in with me. My opponent even checked in with me. It was great. But yeah, like you just feel like you're in another world for a little bit, for about a month. You're like, is this my body? And sometimes you wake up and you might got like the aches, or you might have like a complication where maybe you forgot you weren't supposed to blow your nose and you did. Stuff like that. For about 2 weeks, they had to let my nose sit the way it was anyways, because it still wasn't all the way reset, but they had to let it set. And for about 2 weeks, part of my orbital bone was like sticking halfway, or part of the border of my nose bone was like sticking halfway through my nostril.
Yeah.
And I could feel air passing like that piece that was sticking through there. And that bothered me.
Yeah.
Even just like a little detail like that, I was like, wow, my nose is like, my face is in this condition. Like, am I going to be okay to be hit again? Can I compete again?
Yeah.
I got back to it a little bit early and I cracked my nose a little bit again. And so I took another break. I waited a little bit longer. But even in that whole downtime, once I got my physical strength back and I could move around, I was.
Yeah.
I didn't want to sit still. I was restless.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff, those lows, when you take a loss like that, lows like that are very real. A lot of times an athlete, doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, you'll question yourself. You'll wonder if like, oh, am I really at this level? Am I elite? Because everyone wants to be able to say stuff like that about themselves.
Yeah.
The inner child in me, like, wanted to like reach for my parents and like lean on my parents and fall back on my parents. And I don't physically live where my parents are, so that was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard to like just try to get like, I wanted a bunch of hugs.
Yeah.
I wanted a bunch of hugs.
Yeah.
And I did get a bunch of hugs, but like still like those are things where you kind of think you're like, okay, yeah, I feel better. I feel better today. I feel a little bit better today. And then something could come into your mind where you might relive the situation, like your loss. You're like, I did make a pretty bad mistake. I did pay a lot for that.
Right.
So it's highs and lows.
Yeah. Well, tell me, like, you're talking about questioning yourself and questioning what you're doing. Like, I assume you still plan to do bare knuckle fighting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So why?
I'm getting back on that horse, man.
Yeah.
That's always been me. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been someone that's like, not only am I like a get my lick back kind of person, but like, I got to get back on the horse. I got to try it again. I know I'm someone like deep down, I know I can do this.
Yeah.
So if I sit there and like contemplate, I'll eventually still end up like reaching the conclusion, like, yeah, I'm going to try it again. I'm going to do it again.
Would you say it's more so because you want to, like, you've got a chip on your shoulder that you want to like prove that you can, or is it just like you just want to accomplish in general and it's something that you care about doing?
I think part of it is that, and then I also think the other part of it is I got into this to not like to me, when I got into this, I immediately got past like the image of glamour.
Yeah.
Like I'm someone like I really, really, really enjoy testing myself. I don't like beating up people. I like fights.
Yeah.
So I like overcoming. I like going against skilled people. I really like showing that to me, like the way I move and the way I feel when I do things, like that's all me. And I really accomplish that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good amount of it is kind of the chip on the shoulder, but it's because like, like I would never see it for myself or anyone else for like my career to end suddenly because like I suddenly just kind of like was like yeah, that was like, man, that knocked me clean out of the lanes. I'm just not like that.
Yeah.
So even though I can move past significant losses and significant lows, I still I carry those lessons with me here so that when I feel like I'm getting into familiar territory again, or I'm about to approach a fight, I'm like, okay, like I've been to the highs, I've been to the lows, I've been the hammer, I've been the nail. This isn't about like emotions or anything based off of like any emotional context for me. This is like my emotion that's involved in this is like, I believe in myself and no matter what happens, like I'm going to get back up.
Yeah.
So
I love that, man. I want to ask you a question kind of out of left field here, but you had mentioned you've been in a few street fights before you even got into fighting.
Yes, sir.
So tell me about like how that kind of transpired, and did that lead you into wanting to fight in a more like organized fashion?
Not necessarily. The street fights that I got into, one, I probably should have been minding my business, but I don't like seeing people physically mistreat others.
Okay.
So I was like, well, you guys like can't like do this out here, like in front of everybody. And then I was suddenly like, and then it was on with me. So for me, I don't think they really motivated me to fight more. I did martial arts as a kid because I got bullied as a kid. I didn't have like, I wasn't as large as some of my friends, and I went through like a late growth spurt. So like every now and then, like I'd kind of get handled.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. I didn't like that about like thinking about things like that happening to me. So for me, like if any type of fist fight like ever occurred, like I've always kind of thought of like, oh, I've got to stand up for myself. Like there's like no question, like I'm definitely defending myself. So it didn't like push me it didn't push me into fighting, but what it did for me was it helped me reinforce why I practice fighting, because like people come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, but being like kind of a larger athlete, a taller athlete, I might stick out like a sore thumb in some places.
Yeah.
And
I know that feeling.
Yes. And I don't, I like to keep my head level, like to keep my eyes level, I like to be just calm, cool, collected. I like to smile at people. I like to give people respect. But, I notice body language. I know if someone's sizing me up. I can tell if people are getting a good look at me. But for me, like it's always just been like the end result is like what I do in the end.
Yeah.
So it didn't motivate me to fight, but it definitely put me in a place where I was like, okay, well, if I get down again, like I better be sharp because I ain't getting clipped like that again.
Yeah.
So
it seems more so like those fights were situations where you felt like you were actually standing up for like a greater good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least that one. At least that one.
The other one, maybe not.
I've had a few scuffles. I used to work at a couple of clubs, and I remember working at one, and I let these guys in from kind of sort of the middle of the line to use the restroom, and they were trying to like mess around at the front, and I was like, okay, we'll get back into the line. And then all of a sudden, like it was just a problem from there. So like this whole thing ensued, and we ended up getting down in the parking lot. But like even with that totally set me straight. It humbled me because I busted my hands up.
Yeah.
I busted my hands up, and I woke up in tears the next day. I was like, my hands hurt so much, and I'd opened one of my hands up, and it hurt. I'd try to make a fist, and my wound would open up again. So really, like, it pushed me more into like competitive fighting because I was like, oh no, I'm not like, I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble, and just leave me alone, dude. Because I'm not going to do this with you. Because if I do this with you, like, now I'm going to hurt myself. I'm going to hurt my money makers. And I don't get nothing out of it a lot of the times now, you know? Fighting for money it changes your attitude, changes your perspective.
Yeah.
It puts a lot of respect in my mind on the business.
Yeah.
You know, I can't just do anything anywhere. You know, I don't even do outdoor sports anymore.
Yeah.
I don't snowboard. I don't dirt bike. I don't jet ski. I don't water ski. None of that. I don't ride horses.
Man,
even.
no snowboarding.
Nothing.
Oh,
none of that. So
that sounds sad to me.
it's tough. It's tough because I like falling down. I like going outside and, you know, getting dirty. Do it like, you know, just like doing like outside stuff.
Yeah.
But you've got to keep all that stuff on lock if you want to make, you want to make it to fight day.
Yeah. Well, tell me, like, what's kind of some of like your guiding principles in life, whether it be, you know, training for fighting or, you know, the way that you want to live. Like, what are some of those like key components of things that you feel are important?
For me, respect is a huge thing. Respect and manners. I don't think we would have a lot of stuff if we didn't. I don't think we would take a lot of stuff as serious as we would if we didn't have respect.
Yeah.
But like, I've even like given respect to people that I really didn't like, you know, or even in heated situations where like, you know, maybe I knocked someone down, or like if I was in a street fight and I did end up like knocking someone down, or in sparring, or if things got heated and, you know, I hurt someone, like I still have respect. I've still got like, I'm like, okay, well, like clearly my point's been made. You know, you jump at me again, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna make another point.
Yep.
And then manners, just like the yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, things like that. Like it doesn't just make. I don't feel like things like that just make people like look good. I think things like that make people feel better about themselves, because when you like handle things with a sense of urgency and you've got like a good amount of respect for the things you handle, like you're gonna carry yourself that way.
Yeah.
And I feel that way about everything that's related to combat, because it's serious. You know, if this wasn't today, like we could all be in here like working with swords, weapons, things like that. And that's like serious. That's, you know, that's even a level above like the competition area.
Right. So
if you put yourself there, like it gets easier to see the competition field.
Yeah.
If you take things with a great amount of respect and you handle them with a great amount of manners, and you act like, oh, like this is like, I'm taking care of this because I want this to last. That like doesn't just show up in like the way that you act or the way you interact with your surroundings.
Yep.
Like people see the way you carry yourself. They don't, you know, approach you with no BS.
Yeah.
They don't, you know, try to, and if they do, you know, like being sharp and cool and calm and collected has helped me so much more than just trying to like get up on people whenever I feel a certain way.
Yeah.
So, and I've just kind of always been like that anyways. I've always been someone that's like, oh, I might not get you here, but I'm gonna get you here.
Yeah.
Because there won't be, if this is a matter of like, oh, like people kind of treading on my respect, or, you know, trying to like invade my boundaries or make me feel a certain type of way, I don't always like give like smoke or heat off of that right away. I kind of, oh, all right, okay, we'll see. And then if I see like I've got an advantage in like a situation where I can level the playing field, I'm like all about it.
Yeah.
Because we could have just been respectful.
Right.
You know? So I try not, when I handle fights, anything like that, you know, I tell people, even when I do interviews for building up to fights, I'm like, I'm just focused.
Yeah.
I'm just focused. You know, oh, what are you going to do? I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Sit back and watch, buy a ticket, you know, tune in. But I'm not about to start speaking like all this and that, because I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of respect for fighting. I have a lot of respect for the coaches and the people that put, you know, they're all into this. Even, you know, you guys doing these interviews, the podcast, I really appreciate it, you know. So I have a ton of respect for everything that goes on in this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here without it.
Yeah.
So,
well, where we put our focus is where our energy goes, and where our energy goes is what we feed.
Yes, sir.
And what we feed is what grows.
Yes.
And so you know, I think that can go for anything in life, whether you're fighting, whether you're wanting to be a good parent, a good friend,
just
whatever
direct
it is.
that energy.
Direct that energy through focus. So, yeah. Well, brother, you got a fight coming up soon?
I don't have a fight coming up soon, but
Okay.
I'm hopefully going to be signing with BKB.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll sign with BKB. They had called me last year. I wasn't in a position mentally or emotionally right then to take it, but I think physically I was ready. But I'm gonna hopefully get this 4-fight contract with BKB, get these fights done on the road, you know, fight at 185, maybe see some gold. But yeah, I'm gonna just keep grinding. I'm gonna keep grinding, I'm gonna keep fighting. I enjoy this. This is like, to me now, like the fight day is the prize.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about for me.
That's awesome. Well, hey man,
thank you.
It was great meeting you and great talking to you.
Bless you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
we'll see you soon.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm Carr, and I'm here to fire you up.